Hello, everybody. It is I, Yukiola5 here.
And what's up, guys? It's you from Zone Games here.
Yeah, okay, so this is a new podcast type thing I'm doing, where originally my goal was to create a podcast called Create, which was an animator's podcast, but that kind of crashed and burned considering the animation community is very scarce, as I've learned. Um, But on the bright side, since I do have another talent, I don't even know if I'm good at it. I'm probably not. Let's playing is a thing. So this is Create Let's Players podcast, and basically what we'll be doing is me and Z. Z will be my co-host. Say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
Yeah. We'll be discussing video game news. We'll be interviewing smaller Let's Play channels, stuff like that. We'll talk about video games releases and all that fun stuff whenever it happens. So, yeah. Or we may just have random topics every now and then. We'll see. So, yeah, that's that. Today's topic is our just E3 announcement or predictions. God, we're professionals.
Yeah, if most of you know that E3 is coming up, so we have put together a small list of a few things we want to talk about and maybe predict to what we think might happen or be revealed at E3. We're not going to say specifics because we don't know all the game developers and just be like, hey, I know exactly what's going to happen. This is just our predictions, our thoughts. So don't believe that this all is going to happen next week or whatever. I think it's soon.
All right. I guess we can just start into probably one of the most hyped up topics for all of E3, and that is we're starting off with the company Nintendo, and we'll start with Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I'm really hyped to see what other characters will be revealed as Smash Bros. DLC.
I believe my prediction for revealed stuff from Smash Brothers DLC, I predict that we will get Ryu and Roy from Street Fighter and Roy from Fire Emblem, solely based on the audio files. However, if that doesn't become true, then I do think we're at least getting one new character from E3, as well as I think we'll be getting new game modes that Sakurai talked about, and possibly new stages.
I personally think that we are going to get a DLC pack, possibly with the return of Wolf from Star Fox, because that's I'm pretty sure that's the one character that was cut besides Ice Climbers that we haven't gotten that everybody really wants to come back, or that was pretty popular. And I can see him being brought back with maybe some sort of Star Fox stage from previous games that we don't have currently. I know we have Brinstar and Corneria on the 3DS, and I believe we have Lylat and maybe I don't remember what else we have in the Wii U. We have Brinstar as well in the Wii U. Is that what we said?
Isn't Brinstar? Which one's Brinstar? Isn't that Metroid?
Oh, that's a Metroid stage. Gosh, why did I say that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is a Metroid stage.
Right. I actually just don't want Wolf back in, mainly because I don't know. I didn't really like Wolf. He's just kind of like meh, another Star Fox character. I mean, I wouldn't care if he was in, but I would much rather have a new character or a different returning character.
Yeah, I personally think we're going to get Wolf revealed at least, and if we get more than that, I believe we'll have at least one new character. As you said, we did hear Victory, or I believe it was the announcer, files in the new update of Ryu and Roy. Victory, yeah. I believe. So, that would make sense given that Ryu is a very popular character from a Capcom franchise that everybody sort of wants to see. And Roy was a very popular character in Melee that a lot of people would like to return. So I think we will probably get most of the returning character. I'm pretty sure almost every character that was cut will probably return. Exceptions being if they can't program Ice Climbers, probably the rest of the Pokemon Trainer and Pichu will probably not come back. But I think I can see Snake, and if they get the Ice Climbers to work, they'll probably bring Ice Climbers back as well. As I think, you can go.
I personally don't think Snake is coming back at all.
Yeah, I don't think Snake is gonna come back, like, personally, but I can see there being hope for him still. I believe we're at least getting Wolf and Roy, and quite possibly, what was the other character that got cut? I can see Snake coming back, but if they can find a way to program the Ice Climbers onto the 3DS, then I think we're set, because I think the Ice Climbers were a pretty missed character.
I would much rather just have newcomers come in instead of returning characters, but, you know, if we get new characters and the returning characters, I'm fine with that. The more the merrier, but, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, new game modes, what do you think those could be? Because Sakurai did talk about possibly adding in new game modes. I want, personally, 2 game modes that I would kill for. Would be the original break the targets, like from Melee, where each character had their own unique break the targets, or also I would like to have board the platforms from N64, because that was fun.
Yeah, I do not. I know that we don't have break the targets in Smash 3DS. I believe we do have in the Wii U version, and we don't have Special Smash. Yeah, we don't have Special Smash in the 3DS version either, which is stupid. Which we should probably get as a DLC if that's capable, if they want to do that. But if it's possible, I can see this not being a thing. But if they do put some sort of mini story mode into the game, like somewhat like a shrunk down version of the Subspace Emissary, that would be something I would definitely pay for, because that's such an awesome idea, I think.
Yeah, I think the Subspace Emissary was really cool. I don't know why some people didn't like Subspace Emissary, and I don't understand why. I thought it was really epic and awesome to see all those characters work together like that. But Sakurai himself did say that he didn't plan on doing something like that, but that doesn't mean we couldn't get something like Melee, how they had that adventure mode type of thing. You know, something like that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Possibly add in more boss characters, or even give Master Core some more I don't know, weight.
Yeah, I could see sort of just in Brawl they did have a mode separately from the story mode that was basically just run through all the bosses from the story mode. And if we don't get a story mode, then I can definitely see just a boss mode being added where you just sort of dash through each boss. And they could even throw some very interesting characters, like in they had Rayquaza as a boss, and that was really interesting. But we could also have, I don't know, if we don't get King K. Rool as a playable character like a lot of people want him, he could be in the boss mode, or just sort of, that would be a great way of representing more villains from different franchises.
I think the boss rush mode or whatever from Brawl was one of my favorite modes, because I loved fighting those guys. It's good times. Alright, so yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for Smash Brothers. Obviously there's a lot of stuff coming. Lucas has been announced for June 15th, or 14th, June 14th, yeah. 15th in Australia.
Kind of sucks.
But yeah, so let's move on to the next game. Z, what's the next game on your list?
Oh, the next game on my next game on my list is actually the possibility of getting a new Pokemon game announced. Most likely the sister game in the Pokemon X and Y lineup, like how we've had Ruby, Sapphire, and then we got Emerald, and we had Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So I think it would be logical to have X, Y, and possibly Z, which would be really... It's something that I'm really hoping for, just because there's so much that they missed out on, I feel like, in X and Y, that they could really build upon with the third game. You, of course, will probably get new Mega Evolutions like we did in Oris, but in X and Y, they really just did miss out. It felt like there was a lot missing from the game. There wasn't really much post-game stuff to do. It was just a lot of... We didn't have that many Pokemon, and it just sort of lacked in a lot of ways. I think we could have had and it was very easy, too. That was another problem I had with it. So I think we could have a little more difficult version of X and Y with a few differences thrown in there to make it better.
I hope what they do is they add in something kind of like the Delta episode from Horus. Like a huge story that you can do after you beat the game. Also, kind of like how Platinum had the whole Dark World or whatever that thing was. I don't know, Dream.
Reverse
I don't
World.
remember.
I believe it was
Reverse World. Yeah,
Reverse.
I've never played Platinum, but I just know there was like a huge extra like thing to do in there.
Yeah, that would, and how Emerald from Ruby and Sapphire, even adding just like the Battle Resort from like Emerald did, really added to the game. I think we should have a big extra story plot, or story mode something into the game somehow, like sort of how Black and White 2 were both sequels to Black and White, which I really enjoy Black and White 2 a little more than the original Black and White, which were very story-driven games, but still managed to really hold their own with gameplay as well. And I think getting something like that with sort of maybe we could give it like a sequel game where it was just instead of just a sister game, we have a sequel game, and it really just it takes place afterwards and adds to the story. We could have like a brand new team, maybe even because Team Flare was kind of just I didn't really enjoy the team that much. Like Rocket and like Team Rocket, like they were simple, but they were not complex enough. I mean, like there's some teams like in previous gens that we've had that are very simple, but yet there's like a lot of complexity within them. Like the whole thing with Giovanni added to Team Rocket, and the whole thing with Maxine Archie sort of helping you out depending on what game you're playing, or Plasma with their whole release Pokemon and N being a super interesting character and everything. I think that we could definitely have something very unique come out of Pokemon Z.
Yeah. I definitely think they should create Z because, it'll keep the trend going with the whole sister game thing. So, yep. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for Pokemon Z. I'm actually pretty sure that they will announce that. If not that, then they'll do something different because, Nintendo likes to take chances sometimes, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did something a little different.
I'm gonna be kind of angry if we just get that Detective Pikachu thing, like an update on that.
How cool would it be if we got like Pokemon Snap Wii U or 3DS? Like that would be sweet.
Yes, Wii U and 3DS versions of Pokemon Snap would be amazing because even though I haven't played the original, like a lot of people want that.
Dude, I've played the original and it's so freaking fun. Right. Moving on. The next game on my list is the Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei. I don't know much about Shin Megami Tensei, but I have played Fire Emblem Awakening, and from the trailers we've seen, it looks really cool how it plays like a Shin Megami Tensei game, but it also has like Fire Emblem characters in it and stuff.
Yes.
I don't know, from what we saw in the Direct, I think is when they announced it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I myself have not played Fire Emblem, but I've heard from a lot of people it's a great game, and also Shinigami Tensei, I don't know much about that, but it appears that it's going to be a very interesting game, and unique, and definitely cool, but
I mean,
I'm not sure if I'll be checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for JRPGs, because, I'm a huge fan of RPGs in general, and, yeah, I mean, come on, the current Let's Play on my channel, because this is going up after the first episode of that will be up, is Final Fantasy VIII, and that is one of the longest freaking games I've ever played, so woohoo.
Yeah, I haven't played too many RPGs myself, but I definitely enjoy a good RPG. Like, Pokemon is technically an RPG, but there's other games I have played similar. Like, I've heard a lot of people have, like, Earthbound or Mother games in Japan have been like really popular. Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, all those sort of RPG element games. Like some of them, technically, I'm not sure if you would classify Kingdom Hearts and some of the newer Final Fantasies as much of an RPG, but it would be still fit into that genre.
Kingdom Hearts is Kingdom Hearts is still an RPG. It's just an action RPG. I mean, just because it's not turn-based doesn't mean it's not an RPG. It's like, just action RPG.
Yeah, and we also had the Super Mario RPG, which I believe is one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah. okay, well, Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game of all time by far, and then yeah, I'd say Super Mario RPG would be like in my top 10 or top 5. So, yeah, definitely has one of my favorite video game characters of all time, Geno. Yeah.
Yeah, I love when they introduce a really complex, interesting character to a franchise that needs a little more revival.
Yeah. All right, and then while we're on the subject of Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei, the other game I was gonna mention was I really hope we get some more news or a possible release date for the new Fire Emblem for 3DS game that's supposed to be a sequel to Awakening.
I saw a little bit of news on that before, and it definitely looked unique and interesting, and it looked like it shares a lot of similarities to Awakening, which everybody seems to be enjoying that game so much so far. I actually haven't picked it up, but I should eventually, which I probably will do.
It's a really good game. The thing that I like about the new Fire Emblem game is that like there's a lot of replay value in the game because you like can choose between two different sides and stuff, and there's like a war or something like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I have heard like a lot of good things about Awakening, and I myself haven't played it, but it's definitely like to the point that's piqued my interest that I'll probably pick up the game eventually and start playing it. I've also heard like a few friends of mine have played previous Fire Emblem games and highly recommend them to me because they're very good.
Yep. All right, next game on your list.
Next game on my list is the possibility that we're getting more information about the new Star Fox, which I think would be hard to go over E3 and not give us more information about this Star Fox game that we only got like a snippet of last year. It was like it's basically just saying, hey, this isn't a dead project. We're still doing it, but we're not going to tell you much about it. Or that joke they made in the Robot Chicken, I believe, portion of last year's big Nintendo Direct during E3, where they're just like, "What about the new Firefox?" He just like shoots the guy or something. I don't remember.
Star Fox, not Firefox.
Did I say Firefox?
We're not waiting for a new web browser video game.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't even know why I said Firefox. But I think we're definitely going to get some more information about that, and possibly a good gameplay trailer. Maybe even confirmation of story mode and stuff like that.
They say that Star Fox is supposed to come out before Zelda for Wii U, so I'm pretty sure. Like I think the Star Fox 64 is more or not 64. Star Fox Wii U is more complete than Sakurai's Letting On. I think we might actually get a possible release date for the game, and I'm thinking the release date will be like at the very end of 2015, because Zelda U is supposed to come out 2016. So yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have much to say about Star Fox, considering I've never played it, and I know a lot of people like. It's not a very super popular Nintendo IP, but it's definitely like piqued enough interest that it was worth a mention.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was my next game also. But moving on, something I do want to talk about from Nintendo is I am pretty sure they're going to release or at least announce the next 2 or 3 waves of Amiibo, which would be cool.
Yes, Amiibo. Yes. I actually I haven't picked up any, considering the only console I have the only thing I have that really supports Amiibo is the 2DS, and that actually doesn't have the Amiibo like functionality on it. So I haven't picked them up. If I do pick them up, I'll probably just pick up some of the ones that look like interesting to me, like cool, unique thing. If I end up getting a Wii U or something, then I'll definitely be picking up a few of them. But yeah, the Amiibo. I haven't been super interested in them, but it looks like they're basically taking Skylanders and being like, "Hey, no, Skylanders, you're old. Let's just do some DLC Amiibo stuff."
Amiibos are like a million times better than Skylanders. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
Because like I found so much enjoyment out of my one Amiibo for Smash Brothers. Like I don't know, it gives you a little bit something more to do. Like it's kind of like an expansion, like a tiny little expansion. It's nice.
Yeah, definitely seems interesting. Like how they really did stretch the point that an amiibo is like a training partner in Smash Bros. And how you can really use them to grow alongside you and help you get better at the game in general and competitively and everything. So yeah, I can see the amiibos next wave being announced. I honestly don't see them not mentioning amiibo somewhere in this direct because they've been putting so much pressure into the amiibo.
E3, not direct, by the way. Moving on. The next game that I'm pretty sure they're going to announce, or at least I predict they will announce, will be a new Mario title. Now, this could be Paper Mario U, or a new 3D collectathon like Galaxy. Just some kind of new Mario title. Hopefully not literally a new Super Mario Brothers, because we've had enough of those. Give us something new. Like, original. Paper Mario U, or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door 3DS. Like, something like that would be sweet. Or Sunshine 2.
Yeah.
That would be cool too.
I have never really been too interested in the Mario games, but I've played a little bit of some of the like new Super Mario Bros. On the Wii, and I believe I played a little bit of Luigi's Mansion with a friend of mine, which those are definitely like interesting games. Luigi's Mansion wouldn't technically be considered a Mario game, I guess, because it's sort of just Luigi spinoff. But anyway, like, obviously that's like their Nintendo's main IP, and I highly doubt we're not going to get any information about it, but at the very least we're probably going to get a few more Mario amiibos, and if we don't get, and if they want to do something more, I believe that there is a big chance that we're going to get a new Mario title revealed. I believe Mario Maker could also get some sort of DLC or something like that, because has that been out? I don't remember if it's out right now.
No, Mario Maker has not been out. That was actually one of the games I was going to talk about. Yeah, Mario Maker definitely will make an appearance. I'm pretty sure we'll get a release date, stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought it was out for a little bit, because I haven't seen it, so I just haven't been too interested in it, considering, but it is actually pretty cool because it's got that whole like level maker thing going to it, and that's like something that a lot of people are like really interested in, including myself.
I really hope you're able to make like your own world instead of just one level at a time, because if you can only make one level at a time, that'd be kind of ridiculous, because then it's just like, at that point, you might as well just learn how to use the Super Mario World hacking tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's just like, what's the point if you can only make like one level? Kind of boring.
Yeah, so what is the next game on your list after Mario Maker? Or after what we were just talking about?
Yeah, the new Mario title. This one that I have on my list is actually something I'm really excited for, and they did talk about in the recent Micro Direct, and that is Bravely Second. I am so excited for Bravely Second, because Bravely Default is one of the best games on 3DS, and I still need to just finish it. I mean, I'm at the end of the game. I just need to, like, beat the final boss, and then that's it. I've just been holding that off for some reason.
Yeah,
but it's summer, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I've heard only good things about Bravely Default. Not really anything bad. There was a lot of censorship things that happened when it crossed from Japan to English. Yeah, and it was actually necessary for most of the characters, I feel like. But it definitely did make an impact on a lot of people. So I would be willing to probably check it out. Maybe pick up Bravely Default or even Bravely Second if we get a release date for that sometime.
They said that you don't need to play Bravely Default to play Bravely Second, but you would I don't know, I guess you'd appreciate it more if you did, because then you'd be like, oh, I remember him or her, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just hope they add in, like, I hope it's they add in a lot more jobs, like, because in Bravely Default you had jobs or classes, I guess, like, you know, mage, black mage, warrior, stuff like that, knight. I just hope they expand on that and add new ones instead of just reusing the old ones, you know. So.
Yeah, Bravely Second definitely does seem like a really interesting game. And, well, Bravely Default, as always, it's been pretty popular since its release date, and a lot of people have said it was one of the best games on 3DS. So
I definitely recommend it to anybody. Anybody who's a fan of JRPGs, I would definitely recommend it to. And to those of you who like RPGs but are, I don't know, I guess not into grinding as much, it does have a fast forward feature, which I love. So you can fast forward the grinding, which is awesome.
Let me think. So...
Alright, next game on your list, Z.
Well, this is a bit of a stretch, but I am hoping for confirmation of a possible new Metroid game, just because it's been so long since we've had a main series Metroid game, last one being the one that we do not mention, aka Metroid Other M.
I've heard, I don't know, I've heard mixed feelings on Other M. People say it's good, people say it's not good. I haven't played it, so I don't know. I think it could work. Like, the people's main beef was that it was like third person. And I don't know, I think a third person Metroid game would be kind of fun. I haven't played Other M, so I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's been pretty well received with like the gameplay. I think it was just mainly what they did with the story and how they really just kind of tore down Samus's character a lot, it felt like. So that's why I feel like a lot of people didn't like Other M.
Here's my idea for a new Metroid game. I was gonna put Metroid on here on my list, but I didn't. But I have thought about it, and what I'm thinking they should do is they should do the same format as Super Metroid, right? One of the Super Metroid for SNES. Do another game like that, but make it on the 3DS, and then make it like poofy three-dimensional graphics, like 2D, 3D, 2.5D, I guess, kind of like the new Super Mario Brother games, or something like that, where it's kind of 3D, but you move on a 2D plane.
Yeah, like the Smash Bros. Games sort of look that way.
Yeah, like that. And it's just like you play as Samus, and you move kind of like how you do through Super Metroid. You go through a huge planet, go to other planets even, get power-ups, stuff like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I would definitely buy that game, because I'm just really interested in the Metroid series as a whole. I'm just getting around to finally playing Metroid Prime, and that's a really interesting game so far.
Metroid Prime is great.
Yeah, and I think that they could do something really interesting with the controls with the Wii U gamepad. They could do some parts where, like, there's a scan feature in most of, I believe, in all of the Metroid Prime games. Is it all of them? Yeah, that they could definitely incorporate into the Wii U gamepad, like, move it around so it scan your surroundings, which would be really interesting. Like, not heavily rely on it, just because it's pretty annoying at times, just to have to, like, freaking rely on motion controls a lot. But that was basically the, that's the way I can see them incorporating it that, like, well into the Wii U.
But another cool thing they could do if it was, like, a Metroid Wii U game is they could have on your TV be like Other M, where it's, like, third person, but then on the gamepad, it's first person, so you're in the helmet. And then, like, that would be a cool idea.
Yeah. It definitely would be interesting. I actually do like that idea a lot, now that I'm thinking about it. Just because, it would satisfy people who really liked, Other M, and people that liked, the original Metroid Prime games, so.
Yeah. So I think that would be a cool compromise on Nintendo's part. Alright, so yeah, new Metroid game. Get on it, Nintendo. Alright. Moving on, the next game on my list would be, well, not game, but I think they're going to announce a lot more DLC for Splatoon and Mario Kart 8.
Splatoon DLC was definitely on my list as well. That was actually in a little bit. I was thinking about talking about it.
They just did the NES Zapper, and they also announced a new, like, paintbrush type of thing. So, yeah.
I could definitely see other Nintendo franchises making their way somehow into Splatoon, either as like costumes for like online multiplayer or just for fun type of stuff. And I could even see like weapons making it in, like maybe even Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush or something like that.
Or Flood from Super Mario
Flood
Sunshine.
would definitely be actually really interesting because you could just fill the whole thing up with paint, just be like, shh.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see a lot of interesting like DLC that could go into the game.
a unique thing they could do is they could have Luigi's Poltergust from Luigi's Mansion, and you can actually suck up paint.
Yeah, and then you could just. I feel like you could definitely suck up paint, and then another thing maybe you could do with that is like I don't know, like maybe it would have to take a minute to like recharge, and then you can actually turn ink that you sucked up into your ink, and you can spray it out again.
I think I don't know. I haven't played Splatoon yet, but I have heard only good things about it. And as soon as I get a Wii U, that'll be one of the first games I'll get because it looks super freaking fun.
Yeah, a lot of people have said it's like so simplistic yet like so fun, like sort of like older games
I've heard,
like that.
Yeah, it was just really addicting.
Yeah.
So
Splatoon.
It's like the Nintendo Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's like the really popular shooter of Nintendo, basically.
Because I don't like Call of Duty at all. First-person shooters, just besides Prime and like BioShock and Fallout. Okay, I do like some first-person shooters, but majority of like the mainstream like Halo and Call of Duty, just no. But Splatoon, that seems awesome because I also like the whole thing where you can turn into a squid and then just like
you're a kid, you're a squid, you're a kid, you're a squid.
Oh my god. No. But I do think Inkling deserves a shot at being in Smash Bros.
Yeah, that should definitely be an interesting Smash character. Actually, I think that would be a really cool Smash character. So we should get that as DLC.
Yeah.
And also like with all the customizable like the ways you can make your characters look in Splatoon, it would definitely transfer really well to alternate costumes for that character if they ever got into Smash Bros. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think you're up next.
Yes. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit. I'm like almost at the end of my list here. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Zelda U, and possibly what would happen with that.
Actually, okay, so basically all the information we have on Zelda U is that it will be out in 2016, and they are actually not going to be talking about it at all this E3.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, that's definitely interesting. I guess I had no idea that we were not going to be talking about it, but that's fine. We can just go on to the next thing on your list, because my last thing for the Nintendo section of this whole thing is pretty big, so I guess I would let you finish off basically your list here.
Okay, I only have 2 more things. The next thing I think they're going to announce is they're finally going to add GBA, or Game Boy Advance games, onto the Nintendo 3DS eShop.
Please, 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 please.
Finally.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that would be amazing. Because I could just go pick up like a freaking GameStop eShop gift card and just like, boom, buy like freaking Crash Bandicoot for the GBA or Pokemon Emerald or something.
Like Minish Cap, Fire Red, freaking... Like, I don't know, there's so many good GBA games. Golden Sun, Breath of Fire, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, just all these awesome GBA games that you can finally get on your 3DS.
I'm pretty sure there was a Fire Emblem game for the GBA. I believe it was the Tomb one or something like that. Something about stones. I think it was something Sacred Stones. Yeah. Sacred Stones, that's what it was.
Yeah, there's just they could do so many awesome games, and it's practically just money in Nintendo's pocket at that point.
Yeah, and also like the Donkey Kong Country series.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country, the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
There's so many good GBA games that they could bring back onto the eShop, and I think that if they don't do that, it would just be a missed opportunity because they haven't done. I'm pretty sure the Wii was the first one with like the capability of downloading the older titles from previous consoles, like because they had the Nintendo 64 stuff on there, and now we're finally getting it on. We got it on Wii U and we have it on 3DS. Why not add that to here? Because I don't believe we do have any backwards compatibility besides like being physically able to put like a game in there. But like being able to download games to your DS would be amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, so GBA games for 3DS eShop, make it happen. They've been teasing us for years. Just do it. Freaking do it. Okay. Now my last thing on the Nintendo section, and then we'll go to your last thing. My last thing is I just think they're going to announce a good amount of new 3DS games, and maybe some more of those new 3DS exclusives like Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, like
You know,
the Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, and then was Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't think that's been out yet, but I'm pretty sure is that new Nintendo 3DS exclusive?
no, that's just Wii U.
It's Wii U. Duh. Gosh.
I'm actually really excited for Xenoblade X, because just based on what I've seen, it's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto meets Final Fantasy meets Xenoblade. Like,
Yeah.
it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah. Meh. I can definitely see them coming out with like a lot of 3DS new titles because they want to keep building up that library, of course, and I can see
With the new
more.
3DS,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
I can see more third-party games coming to 3DS titles, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe there was a new Dragon Ball Z game pretty recently announced for Japan or something for 3DS, and it was like sort of a
They
2D interesting type game, and I'm hoping we get a English version of that sometime in the near future.
They just released the Attack on Titan 3DS game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks like it's either really fun or really just meh. But you know,
Meh. Yeah, your turn.
my last
Final
thing
thing for the-
is actually it's not relating to a specific current game, but the possibility of having a new IP released by Nintendo, because we did get Splatoon, which went over really well, and I can see Nintendo taking a lot more risks more recently. So I can see a new. I'm not sure. Judging by how well the Ukulele Kickstarter went off, I can see possibly a new 3D platformer somehow, or we could have something more shooter related, I guess. Just because shooter relate, like a lot of shooters have been doing really well recently, and we haven't had that many in Nintendo besides Splatoon and Metroid, sort of, I guess.
I think Nintendo, if they were to create a new IP, I kind of want Nintendo to go back to their roots and create a new IP in the form of like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, cross like Nintendo, Super Mario 64. I don't know, something like that like brings back those memories of those good games. Like, I don't know, the nostalgia. Bring back the nostalgia, Nintendo.
Yes, Nintendo, please.
Like, make that in the form of a new IP. It could be a new game where you are like Link and you collect items and explore dungeons, stuff like that, or a new Mario type of thing, 3D platformer collectathon type of deal. Like, it would just be cool to have a new thing, and then more fodder for Smash Brothers characters.
Yeah, then we if we did get like a whole new IP with like a super intriguing story, which is my main hope, a huge, like a universe that's big enough to theorize about the story and all that would be really
Yes.
cool. And then we would
So I
also
have mystery. I love mystery in video games.
yeah, that's why a lot of people have been doing like fan theories on so many things.
Yeah.
Like
That's why I like Geno so much, because there's not a lot known about him.
yeah,
So, he's just cool.
like I said earlier, I said like a really interesting, mysterious character being added into a old franchise that needs revival can really bring like a new like age to it. I guess the series.
Yeah. Alright, so that about wraps it up for the Nintendo part of E3. Moving
About
on.
40 minutes into the podcast, we're finally done with Nintendo, guys.
Woohoo! The rest shouldn't be as long because, you know, Nintendo's our favorite.
Yeah.
But moving on, we've got Sony. I guess I'll start us off with, I'm pretty sure they're going to announce more news about their movies and stuff, like that Ratchet and Clank movie we heard about last E3.
Yeah. And aren't we getting a Sly Cooper movie, or did that already wasn't that released? Or I don't think it was released.
I don't think I've heard of it.
No,
so
there's
I don't know.
a Sly Cooper movie coming out as well sometime in the future.
Wow.
I know a lot of people have been really hyped for that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Alright,
the movie,
so-
but I've seen it like being discussed. For me,
Your first
the
thing?
only real. Oh wait, were you about to say something?
Yeah, what's your thing for?
Well,
Sony?
the only real thing I have for Sony is it's been teased for so long, and like how many like times the rights have been passed around, and how it seems that Activision no longer has the rights to Crash Bandicoot. I can see
Hmm.
Sony picking that up. I believe like it's been very like a lot of people have thought that Sony actually did buy the rights back and are planning on making some sort of revival to the Crash Bandicoot franchise, sort of similar to some of the original games. And I would be so hyped for that. Even if it's just something like 2D side scrolling on the 3DS or something just to test the waters, I would be so hyped to see Crash Bandicoot return.
I don't know. The last like I mean, I played the original three on the PS1, but and then I've played Wrath of Cortex on PS2, and yeah, those are great. But I don't know. I don't I don't know how I feel about Crash Bandicoot as a character. Like, I don't know. He just seems too wacky and silly for me.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot is definitely not really heavily relying on the story. It's more of just a nostalgic gameplay type thing.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't really like. There's some games that are obviously way more story driven than other games, like Zelda and
Oh yeah.
Metroid, compared to like Kirby and Mario. Well, Mario's sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing, I remember back when I was playing Wrath of Cortex, Crash Bandicoot. I remember the thing when I was younger that scared me the most was those dragon sections where you were being chased by a giant green dragon through the castle.
yeah, in some of the older games,
Uh,
it was a boulder and then a polar bear and then a dinosaur in Crash 3. So I
yeah.
remember that. That was definitely like those like moments where you're like, oh crap, I need to get out of here, and you're just like being chased at like high speed. You're just like, oh no, please no,
Yeah.
I want to live.
Yep. All right. So Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't object to a Crash Bandicoot game. I think on 3DS it could work. Just it depends on what they do, really.
In fact, actually, a
Then
PlayStation controller is actually pretty similar to what we have for the 3DS right now. Like just
true.
being like a single analog stick for moving around, and then we have X, Y, A, and B, which are basically X, square, circle, and triangle.
Hmm. So is that all you have for Sony?
That's actually all I have for Sony. I don't have
Okay.
anything at all for Microsoft,
So
so
I'll
yeah.
go through. I'll go through my Sony. Um, Next is hopefully a new game from the Legendary Three. Any one of these three: Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, or Ratchet and Clank. One of those three games would be cool.
Yeah.
I know people didn't like Jack and Daxter 4, or, well, I don't think it was called 4, it was called something else. I've never played it or seen it,
I
actually.
think it was just
I
called
just
Jack
remember people
4,
saying,
wasn't it?
huh?
Wasn't it just called Jack
I
4
don't
or
know.
something? I don't remember.
Hmm. I remember playing the original 3 on PS2, but then they created one for PS3, and a lot of people said it just ruined the trilogy. So I don't know if they should do that, but if they do it, it would be cool to see them go back to the original, because I like how the original Jack and Daxter was, the Precursor Legacy. I thought that played fluently and awesome. And then they kind of changed up the gameplay with 2 and 3. But if they go back to the original, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, Jack and Daxter, from what I've seen, is basically a more story-driven version of like Crash Bandicoot, like that sort of same formula but different
Yeah,
into a way that makes it more story-driven. Which I can see that coming back as well. Like I feel like Crash Bandicoot has like more nostalgia than Jack and Daxter does, but I think Jack and Daxter has a more logical chance of coming back. Just because it is that way, and anything from Naughty Dog, I'm sure they will surprise me with something good. So,
true.
Naughty Dog is great.
Oh, right. Speaking of Naughty Dog, this wasn't on my list, but I'm definitely going to bring it up as a prediction for E3, now that you mentioned that.
Yep.
And that is, I really hope they announce The Last of Us 2. Because they said they were going to make The Last of Us 2, and I really hope they announce that this E3.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of great talk about The Last of Us and how great of a game it was. So seeing The Last of Us 2 would definitely be interesting for like a lot of fans of the series. I myself don't experience like that sort of hype for it just because I haven't played the original and I've heard it's really good. But I just I don't know. I would definitely appreciate like that game coming out because like I know a lot of fans would appreciate it. So
play the original, and then you'll understand all the hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be sweet. But it would suck if... The thing that sucks is that all of these games will probably be out for PS4, and I don't have a PS4, so...
Yeah.
I've got to wait a while. But the next game on my list for Sony would be the Sony All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I loved the original for PS3. It was kind of like Sony's way of combating Smash Brothers. But they missed so many characters that they should have put in the original. Like, sure, they had Dante from Devil May Cry, Ratchet, Sly, Daxter, all of them. Ratchet, Clank, Jak and Daxter, all those. Kratos. But they were missing, like, Crash Bandicoot.
Spyro the Dragon.
Sora, Spyro. Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Spyro the Dragon. Like, a lot
Final
of good
Fantasy characters. I don't think they had in there, did
Yeah.
they?
Like, Cloud, they could have added in Cloud or something. I don't know. They missed a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in 2 they add in more characters in general. Just like,
What I heard is that it was very difficult to acquire the rights. Actually, I'm pretty sure that just the characters Crash Bandicoot and Spyro were just really expensive to like buy the rights to like use in the game, or like buy the rights to use them in the game. And like it's just been like, and it was just very difficult for them to do that. So they just decided to pass up on the characters, just like all together, which I think is kind of dumb because I think the game would have gone over a little better if they did have some of those like super classic characters.
I mean, I understand because it was the first game in the series, but if they decide to do a Battle Royale 2, then I don't think they should hesitate by getting those better characters in, because that's a good way to build up hype. Because people already know how the game is, they'll be more inclined to buy it when they see their favorite characters in there.
Yeah, you basically mentioned everything I would want from a Battle Royale 2, just because they did miss those like key characters that I think would have made the game a lot better. Even if they did it again, like considering how well Shadow of the Colossus went over, like as a great game, and I think even Wander would be a great character in the game.
That would be a good character. I think that'd be really cool. Like his third, when he gets his bar filled up to 3, his like final could be him turning into the Colossus at the end of the first one.
Yeah, the what's it called? Dorman.
Yeah. So that would be sweet.
Yeah, it would definitely be really cool if they did add Wander as a character in that too. I would definitely be really interested in that.
Alright, and then moving on, the next game I have, and this is the big one. I am really hoping Sony announces some new Kingdom Hearts 3 news. Ooh, we need Kingdom Hearts 3 news right now. We need a release date. We will not get a release date, I can guarantee you that. But we need at least a new trailer. Some gameplay, something. Please. I'm begging.
Just show us the game is alive, Sony.
Yeah.
So used to saying Nintendo at the end of that phrase. Just show this game is alive, Nintendo. Saying Sony instead. Sounds weird to me.
I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for over 8-9 years now. It's been a long time. So they need to hurry their behinds up and get to it. Because I'm tired of waiting.
From what I've seen, the game looks gorgeous. Like it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like compared to like the previous ones had great graphics to begin with. But like that just looks gorgeous.
From what I hear, people have kind of looked over the original trailers, like the D120 Expo or whatever, all those like the trailers we got before, and I hear that those weren't even gameplay. That was actually just like a trailer, like a kind of like a video to show off that they were working on the game. None of it was actually real gameplay, because if you notice, like just a lot of stuff is off. The way they initiate things, like the menus didn't move as they should have, and stuff like that. Which I guess it's fine, but as long as they keep working on it. Because what I heard was they did the 2.5 HD remix. When that came out, they had some kind of like, premiere for that, like opening party. And at the end of it, they showed a very tiny clip of like very bare bone footage of gameplay from KH3. So, that at least they're working on it.
Yeah. as I said, I don't really have much to say about Sony, but Kingdom Hearts, like, I've always wanted to try out the games at one point, which I probably will get to eventually. But from what I've heard, like it's a franchise with like a lot of like fan support behind it, and like a lot of people have been wanting this Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out, and I can just see. I'm hoping it comes out sooner, just so like all those fans will be like, "Yes, we finally got the game." So
Yeah, and they say Kingdom Hearts 3 won't even be the last game in the series because Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be the end of the Xehanort saga, so they could do something completely new afterwards, which would be cool. So I don't think all Kingdom Hearts fans are going to shut up after it's out anyway.
yeah,
I probably won't. Because the more Kingdom Hearts, the better. Such a great series. Okay, moving on to another one of the big ones that I'm excited for from Sony is Final Fantasy 15. I want either a playable demo, some more news on the game, and possibly even a release date or a release margin, like winter 2015 or summer 2016, something like that.
yeah. Um, I have a few friends that play Final Fantasy like a lot, like more in the recent years, and it definitely like it has it looks sort of like it plays similar to Kingdom Hearts, but like
It does.
it
Yeah,
does look like it plays like in a more
Well, the reason for that being is Nomura, the creator of Kingdom Hearts, was actually the lead director for Final Fantasy 15. But recently, he had stepped down as the creator or lead director for 15 to focus on Kingdom Hearts 3. So now Kingdom Hearts 3's production is speeding up faster than 15's, I believe, is how it's going now. But I think 15 is far more along than Kingdom Hearts 3 is. So I'm thinking we're definitely going to get Final Fantasy 15 before we get Kingdom Hearts 3.
yeah. I can see that definitely happening. I just from what it looks like, Final Fantasy 15 or the Final Fantasy games recently in general just seem to be like a little more not as like RPG like magic like sort of like all that type of attacking stuff focused as Kingdom Hearts, but a little more with just the bare bones fighting style.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So Final Fantasy 15, just a demo, even a trailer. Like I'd be fine with that, just as long as they give us something,
Yeah, definitely.
instead of just leaving us in the dark. Okay, next, which is my final thing for Sony, would be, and this is kind of just me personally. I don't think anyone else cares, but I want a release date or possibly new character reveals for Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 for the PS4.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening sometime in the future. I'm not sure if it'll be at E3, but
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if E3 is really going to announce it, just because it's like, it's one of those kind of,
yeah, the anime
fourth party
fighter,
type of
fourth
things.
party
Yeah.
type stuff like that. It's not as focused on
But
typically in
it
E3.
would be nice.
Yeah,
It would be nice to get like a cool reveal for a new character or something.
yeah. Like there's definitely a lot of hype behind like a lot of those games, like Dragon Ball Z, Xenoverse, and all the different Naruto games that have been coming out pretty recently. So a lot of people have been super hyped for that.
Yep. Alright. That about wraps it up for Sony. Next, we have Microsoft. And this is literally all I wrote down for Microsoft. Nothing. I hate Microsoft. I honestly have no high hopes for them this E3. Nobody cares about Halo 5 or anything. GTA 6 could be interesting.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's
I'm
all I
like
wrote
I told
down.
you, I'm not even like very interested in Microsoft at all because they don't
No.
have anything that
They
really
have no
just
good-
like
they don't-
captures nostalgia or anything because they weren't even around as long as Sony and Nintendo were.
Yeah.
Nintendo was like older, and then Sony came along, and that sort of worked ish, and
Like,
then
okay. Here's one thing that I would possibly want from Microsoft, and that is bring back the old Rare games like Conquer or Banjo-Kazooie. Like, that's what I would want from Microsoft, because they own Rare, so they need to do that.
and none of that
and then-
conquers whatever the like army type shooter thing. I don't even remember what it was. Like pretty
Conker's
recent.
Bad Fur Day.
No, no, not Conker's Bad Fur Day, but like there was a more recent thing with Conker, I believe. Like there was like just like
Oh,
it didn't go over at all. Like well, I was like none of that bullcrap.
no, it was like it was a different game entirely, and Microsoft screwed us over last E3 because it was a tease, because they were like, a new Conquer game hasn't been made in 15 years or something like that, and they were just like, guess we'll have to make our own, and it was just like, really, Microsoft, really, you're gonna cock block me like that?
Yeah, that is like bullcrap too. I hate how they just tease you and then they tease you about it and then they say like, oh, we're actually not doing this. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I said GTA 6 could be interesting mainly just because, like, I don't know, I'm not a huge, like, crazed fan over GTA, but I mean, I don't know, I guess it's fun to kind of, like, screw around and,
Yeah,
you know,
that's basically all I use
do whatever.
GTA for, just jumping in a car around over a few citizens.
Yeah, no, I never played the story, so.
Yeah, I sort of just mess around just by running people over. Yeah, that's basically all I do.
Yeah. I used to play Halo back in the day, but now I couldn't care less. I don't like Halo anymore.
Yeah, it looked interesting. Like I played a little Halo with a few friends of mine, and it's definitely like it takes a different like way. It's like different from Call of Duty and stuff, like in the way that it focuses more on like I don't know, it has more of an ability like type to it instead of just like shooting like with like different class guns. It's more of like
Yeah.
it's actually more interesting because there's like sort of a magic, I guess element
Well, I mean,
to it.
aliens.
Yeah, aliens.
So, but yeah, that about wraps it up for our E3 predictions. God, if you stuck with us this long, then you are a true hero.
True hero.
Warrior. I don't know.
True hero.
I love you.
You're a true hero.
And I love you. This was the first Create podcast, and I hope you guys stay tuned because we will be coming out with more of these where we will interview other Let's Players, maybe even bigger named Let's Players, or whatever we decide to do. I think it would be all interesting. So this is also called Create, so it's possible we might not even just stick with just Let's Players. We could expand our horizons even further than that. But as for now, that's that. Yeah. And if you are interested in being interviewed or whatever, or would like to come on, then please message me and let me know, because we'll see what we can do. But yeah, that's about it for this podcast. We will probably have another one of these, definitely after E3, to kind of go over everything. So, yeah. Any final words, Z?
Subscribe to both of our channels because why not? And thank you for watching and sticking with us for almost an hour of our random rambling and nonsense that we were speaking of. So, thanks for sticking with us.
Alright. Peace out.
Bye.